Hi everyone, welcome back to this month's New Me challenge. It's good to have you in this space and share my new learnings, the tools I use, or even the new discoveries I made. This is the space where I want us to come together to improve our mindsets, learn tactics, and take that one step at a time to help us live the life that we deserve. Today, I'm going to talk about how the words we use every day can have a huge effect on the way we feel and what the outcome is at the end of the day. As humans, we automatically let the words we use and the words we hear change our physical and mental state. So, firstly, are you excited? We are reaching the end of the year. The thing is, though I'm excited and it is exciting, whenever I speak to people these days, they tell me how tired they are, how they just need a break. Yes, during this time, most people's energy levels are a bit low, where it needs to be a bit high. However, you need that energy because you still have to finish all that work stuff before the end of the year. Some people have projects and campaigns that needs to be completed. Some people have year-end written all over to finish whatever they committed on. To top it all, some parents' children are writing exams. And though the children are writing the exams, the parents stress more than them. Yes, it's that whole cloud that's apparently hanging over our heads saying it's final. It is the end of the year. But talking about the end of anything, just let our hearts sink. It pulls down our shoulders to the ground and it makes it even difficult to inhale the air around us. So, can we agree at this time of the year? It doesn't look good for everyone. However, unless you have a different approach. So what gets in the way of our happiness or our success, especially this time of the year? It's all these emotions that we have. One of the key things that Tony Robbins teaches us is that emotions have enormous power. We think it is our intellect, but it is our emotions that play the biggest role. And if you think about it, you can intellectually justify everything emotionally. Our emotions start fights with our loved ones. It starts wars with people we don't even know. But our emotions will let us sit down and resolve things. Our emotions let us get married or let us be creative. The wrong emotion in life are so painful. However, the right emotions like passion, gratitude, curiosity, love, joy, those feelings moves us forward. So, whether you are on a roll and have great momentum right now, or if you really need some encouragement as you are not quite there yet to make your next step a better one than the one before, I would like to share a tool we use, and it's called Transformational Vocabulary and Global Metaphors. And this tool will help you to get to the next level. As I always say, these things are so simple, yet no one ever uses these techniques, hardly. Yet it is so important to use simple strategies that once a person understands it, they can immediately change the quality of their own life in someone else or in someone else's life that they care about. That is why I love this tool so much that Tony Robbins gave us as knowledge brokers, and I love using it. Firstly, I will explain what is transformational vocabulary, where you watch your TV, and secondly, the impact of global metaphors. Let me explain. Words play a significant role in what you feel. Tony Robbins teaches us to change 3 things that naturally affect our emotions. Our physiology is basically the way we feel within our body. Secondly, it is our focus. And the third thing is the meaning you give to something. Let's talk about our physiology. When something happens, the first thing that controls us is the way we are feeling already. If you're feeling crappy, your state is not good and your body is under stress. When your body is under pressure and you're not feeling good, you interpret things very different from when you're feeling playful and happy. It is the way you use your voice, the way you breathe, and the way you move. Is your voice low or is it high? Is your voice slow or is it fast? Your breathing, is it shallow or is it deep? When you move, are your shoulders hanging forward or are they backwards? Those small things can impact your physiology, and by changing it, you can change your emotions like this. The second thing is to change your focus, because whatever you focus on will affect the way that you feel. If you focus on what is wrong, everything is wrong. If you look for something that's wrong, you're going to find things that is wrong. The same will happen if you look for something that is right. You will find everything that's right. Controlling what you focus on is another skill that is important to learn. I still catch myself often where I focus on the wrong outcome because of past experiences. For example, previously I was misled by people. Now, whenever I deal with something, I focus on finding why I will be misled. When I catch myself doing it, I have to admit that I already missed most of the things I could have benefited from or even learned from. But there is a third thing that controls how we feel. That is the meaning we give things. You see, as soon as you focus on something, you have to decide, what does it mean? Is it the end or is it the beginning? You see, if you think it is the end of your career, the end of your relationship versus the beginning of your career or the beginning of your relationship, you are going to have a completely different mindset and you will have different emotions. And guess what? From these emotions you are feeling, you are going to act very differently. How will you behave at the end of your relationship versus how you will behave in the beginning of your relationship? I remember when my husband and I just fell in love. It felt like everything was great and life was like a good song. I was excited to see him, even if he was a bit late. I was so understanding and just excited that he was with me. I would try to do new things, even cooking, which was totally strange for me. I just enjoyed every moment. Then after a while, a very long while I would like to think, the relationship got to a stage where I did not appreciate it when he was late. I hated cooking and I asked him if he thought I was his slave. There is so much excitement in the beginning of our relationships, the beginning of our careers, and even the beginning of the year. If we focus, or if your focus is to impress and grow and learn and follow your dream, you will find people helping you and guiding you. Then, as life goes on in your careers or in your relationship, we start measuring what we do, and suddenly people are no longer helping us or guiding us. Suddenly they are correcting us, or we think they don't think we know enough. Does that sound familiar? This is when it becomes something like a transaction or a trade that we do. Do you remember your first job when your boss asked you to stay a bit later? You probably felt honored, trusted, excited. Then after a few years, when your boss asked you to stay later, it was, "Are you going to pay me?" So suddenly we are two different people. And nobody feels good about the person we became when it became a transaction, or even when we realize it is now moving towards the end. All of this has a lot to do with focus and meaning. But the words we use, those words play a huge role. It is like when somebody does something and you say, "They are disrespecting me." Or perhaps you think they are challenging you or correcting you. Can you see how it feels different than when they are loving you or they are helping you? Maybe they are coaching you. One word that we change can change instantly how we feel. Our emotions will drive our decisions and our actions. For example, when we are angry and irritable, we obviously will behave in a different way than when we are feeling playful and grateful. The thing is, we have habits of words we use, and it happens mostly automatically. Those habits actually create our emotions. Tony discovered this a few years ago when he was in partnership with two guys, and all three of them were very different. Let me tell you the story. They loved each other and were involved in this interesting business. So one day, they were in negotiation with this company. Tony, an added value kind of guy, and very young at that stage, decided that they should just put the cards on the table and save time. So he told them about the actual costs, how things work, and what the deal is and what they want. He thought by doing it this way, they could get quicker to the bottom line. So one of his partners got very upset and told him that they would use that information and abuse it. And guess what? Yes, he was right. Tony was trying to be honest and transparent, perhaps impatient, just a little bit, and wanted to get to the deal points quicker. At that point, he did not understand that people need to negotiate to feel good, like they earned something. So when you give it to them too easily, and even if you give them exactly what they want, they are like, "I can get a better deal," and then they ask for more. So the company tried to take advantage in a way that was not fair. Tony was honest, and they used it to manipulate him. So Tony and his partners were affected by this because it wasn't right and it wasn't fair. The thing is though, they had the same experience, but they all had a different response. This is when Tony noticed that they all used different words that led to each one having a different reaction and a different experience. But let me continue with the story. So in the middle of this, they had to take a quick break to have a strategy session. Tony felt he was honest with them and he couldn't believe what they did. So he got pissed off, angry as hell. He was really mad. His partner beside him was so over the top angry that it sort of calmed Tony down. That partner said it was insane. He was enraged by this, and he said he could just destroy them or kill them for doing it. This is when he looked at the second partner, and as they go off about how they feel, this partner tells him, "It's not such a big deal. And obviously the other two responded with their emotions going on about how they feel even more. So then Tony said to him, "But you are not even pissed off," and asked him how he was feeling. The partner then responded and said, "I'm a little bit peeved." Tony said he did not understand that word peeved, and it pissed him off a bit more. So he asked the guy, "What do you mean with peeved?" So, just to get back, in the middle of it all, he realized how all three of them reacted with different intensities. He noticed that all three were feeling different, but all three also used different words. That is when he realized that his partner was never really upset. Over all the years, he never got really angry. So he asked him, "Do you ever get angry?" And the partner said, "No, very rare." So Tony recalled a very bad time of this guy's career where somebody confiscated money from him. And he said to him, "Do you want to tell me that you were only a little bit peeved back then?" And the guy responded, "I was a little tinkled by that." Now, I'm sure most of us would probably react like Tony and his other partner, where you will be mad at what they did and you would want to kill them probably for doing it. This is when the guy explained his beliefs about using those words. He said he used them deliberately. Yes, deliberately. He explained that when you get upset, the other guy wins. When you get really upset, you lose control. Yes, you lose control. So this guy is tinkled and peeved, barely upset. Tony is pissed off, and the other guy is in rage and wants to kill somebody. They are all at the same event. Each one's mind created certain words that described what this event meant to them. Now, those words magnified them to be upset, and on the other side, dropped the one partner to be calmer. So, it is very valuable to realize that our words create meanings. From those meanings, we create emotions, and our emotions control our decisions and all of our actions and all the results we get in our life. The thing is, we have habitual words. Think about yourself and the people around you. The words we attach to our experiences become our experiences. If you constantly use the words "I'm pissed off," which I also used to do, and Tony says that this is when you end up being pissed off a lot of the time. When I really thought of it, everyone at work pissed me off. The traffic pissed me off, my husband pissed me off, my kids pissed me off, my parents pissed me off. Just everything pissed me off. Some people have other words like, "You are disrespecting me," "I am depressed." The strange thing is, everyone will be disrespectful to them and they will be depressed all the time. What about using the words, like I said, the words depressed? "I'm tired. I cannot go on anymore. I'm so angry." Especially this time of the year. It is the end. That word is a set of words that you use that happens all the time, especially when you are uncomfortable and stressed out. So, we all have similar habits. We just have to use different words. The thing is, we must be aware of those words we tell ourselves. Those habitual words we use internally are the most powerful words. What if you are in a serious situation? Traffic is terrible. Instead of expressing how bad the situation is and shouting at the taxis and other drivers, you say, "This is inconvenient." So What are the words that are getting in the way of your progress? Not just today, but in the past as well. Because we all have habits, don't we? Even if you use a metaphor, like someone stabbed me in the back. Wow, did somebody really do that and stab you in the back? Is there really an object stuck in your back? If you are truthful, they just said something to someone else that you asked them not to tell, and you feel betrayed. The thing is, if you keep repeating certain words or even metaphors, after a while, your brain starts to feel that it is true, even if it's not true. Even if you feel somebody is taking advantage of you, you will keep imagining it and you will automatically feel hurt or angry. Then one day when you meet them, you find out it's not even true. So we have to become more curious. As Tony will say, watch your TV, watch your transformational vocabulary, watch the words that transform the way you feel, and those global metaphors. Some people will say it feels like they have reached the end of the rope. Put the rope aside because it feels like the end of your life or the end of the world, and it is all because of the metaphor you are using. So, here is the assignment. This tool has 4 steps to help you figure out what your transformation vocabulary means to you and your next level, and make you aware of your global metaphors that you must know. Let's go to step 1. Write down 1 to 3 times where you let your emotions got the best of you, and you were angry, enraged, depressed, and so on. That time when you lost it and you yelled at your partner, you yelled at your child, and perhaps you yelled at a team member. What about the time you screamed at everyone in the traffic? I had times when I did not feel valued, or I didn't feel good enough, and those feelings also affected me, accusing my husband of things that were not true at all. The second step is write down what emotions or actions you could have taken instead of those negative ones. Perhaps you could have excused yourself from the situation. Maybe you just take a deep breath, or explain yourself calmly and listen to what they have to say to get a better perspective. I have no idea what you could think of doing instead, but that is what I started to do. Handling things better and giving the other person, my children, an opportunity to talk. And I really listened before I just went off on my own tangent. The third step is make a list of all the lousy words you find yourself using on a weekly basis that you think you could trigger negative emotions. Words like anger, rage, tired, moody, overwhelmed, depressed, irritable, stressed out. Whatever you find yourself using can influence your mindset and even put your entire body in a bad state. Lastly, step number 4. The final step, but also the most important step. As I explained earlier, make a list of empowering words you can use or put in place of those negative ones. I started off with a change of being angry or pissed off to a little bit irritable. Making the emotion smaller also has an effect. Perhaps now irritable can be changed to there is a itchy witchy thing. Recently, I felt tired most of the time, like everybody else this time of the year. You know, it is getting to the end of the year, I said to myself. So I looked at my sleep patterns, my health, the food I ate, and that is when I realized I would say every time, I'm so tired. I said it when I woke up, when I worked, when I exercised. I was just going down a downward spiral. That is when I realized I must change my words. So whenever I wanted to say, I'm feeling so tired, I would say, I'm feeling refreshed. Lift my shoulders, lift my head and breathe deeply. Or I would say, I just want to recharge. When I forget or forget what I want to do or say, I say I'm buffering. This gives me time to see the circle go around, to gather my thoughts, not feeling overwhelmed because I forgot something or did not focus at the time. Where I doubted myself and wanted to say I couldn't do it, I told myself how amazing I was and that I trusted the outcome. So use words like inconvenient, fascinating, exciting, interesting. When you catch yourself saying, I am distracted, say, I am making progress. When you find something that you do is boring, say it is exciting and you are learning and growing from that experience. Find your new words and metaphors that you can use instead of those negative ones. It's important that you break that old pattern. This reminds me of another personal experience. Robin Banks told us in his Mind Power seminar about the amazing accident he has. I thought of it for a good 2 years, and I promised myself that I would also be different in a situation like that. It doesn't have to be anger and rage. I would let it be fascinating. Just before lockdown, my husband and I went on a quick vacation. As things turned out, this guy drove into our truck. Most of the time there could have been rage. However, I noticed how my husband tried to protect me with his hand when it happened and the concern on his face. I knew that moment this was up to us to allow this to ruin our holiday or make it fascinating. It was fascinating indeed. The poor guy behind us was a driver for a company, and we ended up calming him down as he panicked. There was damage to our car, but hey, we could still drive and the insurance could fix it after our vacation. I know this sounds crazy, but it was so nice to hear from several people that they cannot believe how we are handling the situation. Looking at everything through a lens of fascination changed it all. The driver's experience, the people helping, and even when the owner of the company showed up, everything was fascinating. And yes, it changed our mood, and we drove off still looking forward to the best vacation. So, fascinating truly worked that day. So, when you break the pattern, you might start laughing and get to a different situation, or maybe a solution sooner. Does that make sense to you? It's like using words. I don't want to start over. You never start over. Be truthful. You are not starting over ever. Today you got new insights that you didn't have yesterday. Words that we use. I am a failure versus I learned from this. It changes the entire situation. It is not about being positive. It is about creating new nervous systems, new patterns that allow us to succeed. But to do it, you got to learn how to manage your own emotions, which means you have to manage your mind. This means you start with your body, your focus, and language, because all of us and all of this will give each experience a different meaning and a different outcome. I hope this has been helpful to you. It is not as complicated. It is really simple, as you just need to notice the words you use and create meanings. Meanings create emotions, and emotions are where you live your life. Where you live emotionally is based on the meanings, and the words play a key role in all of it. So, do the exercise and complete the 4 steps. Your mind finds all these limitations you have with the words you use and the metaphors that you use as well. So watch your TV, watch your transformational vocabulary, watch your metaphors. Change your life and change your words. Change your story and change your life. Thank you for your time. Thank you for wanting to become a better person than the person you were yesterday. Blessings for this month and our joyous holiday season that is right around the corner. Until next time. Bye for now.